So, the other day I got the opportunity to drive every single Audi that they make on a special day, including the RS and the R8. Guess which one was my favourite car of the day? Yes, the Audi A1 1 litre. Not really this.
It isn't just the design or the fact that I feel like Jason Statham in one. It's actually the way it drives.
Now I know what you're thinking. There's no way this will drive as well as an S-Class or a 750i. Oh yes it can.
You might think it handles like a canal boat, and because it weighs 2.2 tons, it could have 1,000 horsepower and you still won't feel it. But that would be wrong because of what's under here.
This is what they call an engine. An old-fashioned device that moves the car from A to B. This is a V8, basically. If I could get this out and cuddle it, I probably would. 563 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque. The only way I can describe how this accelerates is it's like an electric car. The difference between this and an electric car is that this doesn't sound stupid, as I will now demonstrate. That is 60 in 3.2 seconds, which makes me feel actually a bit unwell.
It's not just straight line speed, it's also, well, Audi Quattro four-wheel drive, a torque vectoring control system and a sports differential.
Put all those things together and this car absolutely shrinks around you like a tight pair of jeans. This does make you feel like you can do all those things you see the car doing in the movies, you know, sideways, car parks. You know, it doesn't matter how much money they paid to have this car in all the Transporter movies, because I still think about the Transporter every time I see one of these.
Not bad.
Did your mother ever teach you to say thank you?
There is a small thing though, and that is boot size. This has a smaller boot than the S6 because they're obviously focusing on, this is airport run, this is the airport run car, so they're focusing on rear space here. Otherwise the S6 might look like better value, obviously considering that the S6 does have a V6 and not a V8. It is very luxurious in here compared to the S6. The seats in the S6 are nowhere near as good as this. Got a double bed which comes down, look, which is very nice, and some cup holders that go in there. What's interesting, which you get with the 7 Series, the 750 and the S-Class, is there's no free movement of the seat there. You know, you get the controls. That's slightly disappointing, but anyway, it's very refined and it does bring me on to refinement. Not sure if you know this, but actually a lot of the reasons why people get tired when they're driving is due to the noise. And, well, obviously concentration and noise. 3 main types of noise: wind noise, noise hum from the engine, which you think you're not hearing, but you are, your body's registering it. And the third is road noise. Audi's approach to this is called active noise control, and they invented it in 2012. It's a series of microphones dotted around the cabin that listen for sounds that aren't good and then send an opposing frequency into the cabin to almost phase or cancel the bad sounds out. It's very clever, especially after all this time of practice, and it really is working. There's also some special engine mounts which reduce the vibration from the engine or any noise. There's even some special foam inside these tyres to help with road noise, and that is a brilliant invention. In fact, there are lots of manufacturers making these, and I think they will be worth every penny that you spend on them, because this now means that the only sounds you hear inside the cabin are the ones you want to hear. 1, the engine, and 2, the beautiful birdsong of your wife's voice.
Because this is almost twice as quiet as my BMW 7 Series, I thought it was important to ring my contact at BMW head office and just keep them in the loop.
No, I'm not saying all BMWs are bad. I'm just saying I prefer this to the 750i. No, well, road noise mainly. Mate, hello? He hung up on me. Right, voice activation system, as you know, is good. I'll tell you the reason why it's good. Well, it's good and bad. I'll tell you the reason why it's good. You don't have to say, hey, Audi. I don't like saying, hey, anything. I don't mind the one that you like. The BMW one, you can call it Colin. You can say anything. This you just it's like an old-fashioned one. I like it. Navigate to Swindon. Now she has a problem with Swindon.
I'll search for bar and pub in Swindon. Please now say additional search terms or select a line number.
Swindon.
That is due an update possibly, and it's certainly not an iDrive. But turning our attention now to the ride and comfort, have a look at how these wheels are behaving with the road. It's almost as if they're completely detached from the car, a system I found remarkably good.
Unlike other air suspensions, this corners about as flat as you could possibly imagine a car of this size to do. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, look at that. You shouldn't be able to do that in a car of this size. I mean, I was doing 100 then. Here's another thing. The annoying thing about keyless go cars, in fact, the more keyless they are, the more annoying they are, is that you always lose the keys, either before you get in the car or whilst you're in the car, but not in one of these, because you've got this very nice, look at that. There's one on the passenger door as well. Nice, unnecessary, but high quality cubby hole there. You can put the key in there.
Standard is your 360 camera, adaptive cruise and head-up display. The stitched seats, which are wide, have 22 adjustment parameters. You can pump wellness scents into the cabin and any colour. And this is the sort of car that after a long day you'll choose to drive home in over staying overnight.
There are two main wins for me with this S8. The first is how it drives. And that is a really surprising thing because it's pretty faultless for its size. And I'm going to go as far as to say I do think it drives better than the S-Class and the BMW. But the S-Class has better technology. It has a better sound system. The same applies for the 7 Series. But what this has that the others don't is brilliant looks. And that's the second thing. This is the smartest of all three. This is a bit like a good-looking bloke in a nice suit.
The only thing I would say is that you will need to have quite deep pockets for the fuel, although it does use surprisingly considerably less than this, which you will find on the channel. And whilst the RS6 will always be, as I put it, the car that God made, for me the S models have always had the edge, especially for those people who in the real world like performance, but also secretly prefer a bit of peace and quiet. And that's why I'll be taking these breaks in.